The girl was wearing a t-shirt paired with shorts. She lay there lazily as her long, fair legs swung back and forth. Her slender and fair legs were lovely, with smooth and flawless skin. It was like a piece of perfect artwork. "Young man, please meet my granddaughter, Harper Bush. She's quite talented in both traditional and modern medicine," Brooke said with a smile. "Nice to meet you, Ms. Bush." Dustin greeted politely. "Grandpa, why did you bring a stranger up here again?" Harper frowned, displeased. "Harper, be nice," Brooke said with a stern face. "This young man just saved Harmony Healers, so he's our savior. It's only polite that I invite him up for a drink." "How did he help us?" Harper looked him up and down with a curious gaze. "We had a little bit of trouble earlier at the clinic. This young man helped us and saved our reputation," Brooke said seriously. If Eleanor really died at Harmony Healers, he feared that Harmony Healers' reputation wasn't the only thing that would be lost. "Grandpa, stop joking. We have so many doctors at Harmony Healers. Is there anything that we can't cure? Do we need extra help?" Harper didn't believe it. Harmony Healers was very famous. Most hospitals would normally send the patients that they couldn't cure to them. Dustin appeared young. How could he be any better than the doctors at Harmony Healers? "Harper, don't judge a book by its cover. Dustin may be young, but his skills as a doctor are impressive. He is as good as you are," Brooke said. "You say that every time." "Fine, you guys continue. I'm going back to my room." Harper didn't want to say too much. She went back to her room after casting Dustin a side glance. "Young man, I apologize for my granddaughter's behavior. I must have been too lenient with her, thus, her rudeness." Brooke looked helpless. "It's all right. Ms. Bush is just being honest." Dustin smiled. "Here, have a seat." Brooke gestured toward a chair. When Dustin sat down, he poured him a glass of water and asked, "Young man, how may I help you?" There were only two types of visitors to Harmony Healers. They were usually patients, or they were here to study traditional medicine. Brooke hoped that Dustin was one of the latter. "Dr. Bush, honestly, I came to see you because I wanted to find someone," Dustin said frankly. "Oh, who is it?" Brooke was curious. "Have you ever heard of someone named Sinner Schaffer?" Dustin's eyes gleamed hopefully. "Sinner Schaffer?" Brooke was a little taken aback. A glint of surprise flashed in his eyes, but he quickly recovered his composure as if nothing had happened. But Dustin noticed this small change. "Young man, I don't know anyone named Sinner Schaffer. You must have asked the wrong person." Brooke shook his head and feigned ignorance. "You don't know? But I heard that Sinner Schaffer is here in Harmony Healers." Dustin narrowed his eyes. "We receive hundreds of patients daily here at Harmony Healers. I can't recall at once if we have a patient named Sinner Schaffer." Brooke remained calm. "It'd be troublesome if you don't even know his whereabouts." Dustin sighed. "I may not know him, but I can help you ask around." "May I know why you are looking for him?" Brooke pried. "Sinner Schaffer is my savior. I'm looking for him so I can repay his good deeds." Dustin replied with a serious expression. "Understood." Brooke nodded thoughtfully and continued, "That's fine. I'll keep an eye out for him. I'll inform you as soon as I have any news about him. Your help is much appreciated." Dustin stood up and bowed slightly. "You must be very busy. I'll get going now. Thank you for your time. Please." Brooke stood up with a smile and showed him the way out. He watched Dustin leave and made sure he had gone far before sighing with relief. How could it be? It's been 10 years, and there's still someone looking for Sinner Schaffer. Could it be? Could there be a mole? Brooke murmured as he looked toward the stairs leading to the 3rd floor. Sinner Schaffer had a sensitive identity. If it were exposed, the whole of Harmony Healers would be destroyed in an instant. Brooke ensured the 2nd floor door was securely locked before heading to the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor was like a fortress. It was nearly impenetrable, with tough iron doors, security bars, surveillance cameras, and security alarms. After passing through multiple security bars, he arrived at the dimly lit, messy 3rd floor. The 3rd floor's only tidy and warm room was in the innermost part of the building. Inside that room lay a frail, pale middle-aged man lying on his bed, unconscious and barely breathing. Brooke walked over to the man and checked his pulse, then sighed deeply. 10 years, and I still can't get you to wake up, he lamented. It's a shame I can't cure you despite being a skilled doctor. Brooke shook his head. He retrieved a tablet and placed it in the man's mouth. For the past 10 years, Brooke had been devoted to Cinna's care, trying various treatments and scouring ancient manuscripts. Yet all of his efforts had been in vain. All he could do was try to keep Cinna alive. Cinna, I have something important to tell you, Brooke said. A young man named Dustin came to see you today. But I wasn't sure about his intentions, so I dismissed him. He is no ordinary person. If he is a threat, he could be a real problem to us. He found us here, and I think we can no longer hide your presence at Harmony Healers anymore. Cinna, if you can hear me, please wake up. Brooke had been coming to this room every day for 10 years to talk to the unconscious Cinna. Dr. Bush, would it be all right if I looked at Mr. Schaffer's condition? A calm voice suddenly came from the door. Who's there? Brooke was startled to see Dustin. He uttered, It's you. How did you get in? Didn't you leave? He realized that he had been deceived. I'm sorry for lying to you before, Dr. Bush. I hope you'll forgive me, Dustin said, bowing deeply. Brooke didn't trust him and knew further interrogation would be futile, so he took a chance. It was risky, but he needed to find out what Dustin was up to. Who are you, and what brings you here? Brooke asked, shielding Cinna with his arms. Even though Brooke had no martial arts skills, he was prepared to give his all. Don't worry, Dr. Bush, I'm not here to get back at you. I'm here to return a favor, Dustin replied earnestly. A favor? You knew Cinna? Brooke frowned, still looking skeptical. Mr. Schaffer and I are old pals. He saved my life once. It took me a long time to find out where he was. So, I came to visit him with hopes of repaying him. I hope you don't mind, Dustin explained. Old pals? Repaying him? Brooke eyed Dustin to determine if he was telling the truth but could not find any inconsistencies. He asked intently, Why should I trust you? Dr. Bush, if I wanted revenge, I'd end both of you by now, Dustin responded. He flicked his finger, and a bolt of energy shot out. It shattered a flower vase on the windowsill with a bang. What? Brooke's eyes widened, and his expression turned grim. He knew that the ability to manifest his energy meant Dustin was a strong martial artist. Brooke knew he couldn't stop Dustin if he had bad intentions. So, he had to trust Dustin at this point. Dr. Bush, I'm sorry for startling you. Please forgive me, Dustin apologized again. Very well. I believe you now. Unfortunately, you are too late, though, Brooke said. He stepped aside and looked at the bed where Cinna lay. Cinna has been vegetative for 10 years and has not woken up. I have tried many treatments, none have been successful. Dr. Bush, let me try. I have some divine medical skills and may be able to help you, Dustin offered as he looked at Cinna. You? Brooke shook his head. Kid, it's not that I don't trust you, but Cinna's illness is more complicated than that. There's a potent energy inside him that I can't seem to get rid of. All I can do is give him tablets to keep him alive. Cinna had suffered severe injuries 10 years ago that had taken a toll on his body and almost killed him. Brooke had managed to extend his life, but it was only temporary. Even now, he was still unconscious. A formidable energy inside him kept damaging his 8 vital meridians. Brooke had tried many times to remove the energy but could not. He suspected it was the source of Cinna's unconsciousness. We won't know if it's possible until we try it, Dustin replied as he sat beside the bed and checked Cinna's pulse. His eyes widened in shock at what he found. Dustin realized Cinna was in worse shape than he had expected. Fortunately, Cinna had a good physical condition. He could have died long ago if it weren't for Panacea. Dustin took a deep breath and attempted to infuse true energy into Cinna to check his condition. But something inside Cinna was triggered, and a fierce, dominant true energy repelled Dustin's true energy. Dustin recoiled from the clash.